Heading into season three, Althea has suffered so much loss. Her journey has been about adapting and finding a new path, which you've brought so much nuance to. As an actress, how did you create the space for yourself to dive into that arc? And was the preparation different this season, just given where she is?
Ooh, good question. I feel like every season she's had like this journey of an arc. And I think at the end of season two, she lost everything
Yeah.
and her company, she just everything. And then entering into season one, I knew that she was going to lose her tech rights and be banned from the internet. So that was really interesting. But I didn't know where she was going to end up because sometimes the writers and showrunners want to keep things a secret. So it was kind of nice that I didn't have too much planning. They do it
Mm.
for you, honestly, in the writing. So I found it easy to just like commit to what I knew was happening and then find out later. But it is nice to see that growth. And when in doubt, I always start her at very struggled and very conflicted so that, there's room to grow after. And I think that's why, sometimes she's so relatable because
Mhm.
I want to show that vulnerability and that point where this character has no idea what to do with life and it's the world is crashing down. So it's a fun arc.
Yeah, you've definitely done that. Speaking of the showrunners, ahead of each season, Christina and Bob sit down with each of the actors and they discuss what they want to see from their characters. What did you want to make sure was part of Althea's storyline in season three?
Ooh, what did I want to see? I mean, I always, secretly hint, that Althea can like throw a punch or, fight every now and then, which we did get to see a couple
Yeah.
times this season, which has been really cool because, she's got that one little kick with that squeak. And like, for me, that was exciting. I was happy about that. I think we did discuss that, the Shen family, specifically Althea and Ryan, were going to get more involved in Nikki's quest and with the Shooty gang because in the past season one and two, Althea has been a tech warrior, from behind the scenes, behind the camera, helping Nikki with her quest. That was her comfort zone, and I think we see in season three that she's in the danger zone, in the
Yeah.
field, and putting herself out there. And I definitely was excited about that. I think I might have, yeah, I wanted to get more involved, and it was cool to see Althea in danger. And we, Althea got that cool opportunity in episode 310 where she got to go undercover, and I had no idea about that. They did not tell me about that, but I think having stuff like that where she got to be hands on was really cool.
Yeah, perfect segue to this next question. But the last time we spoke was in season two, and you said that one of the things that you wanted to see was Althea team up with Jalan. And what was your reaction when you read episode 310 and the journey that these two have had throughout the series?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I rarely get to work with Yvonne. It's really funny because we're like pretty close outside of work. And so, but we never share screen time together or like, scenes. So that was
Yeah.
the first time that we got to do it. And I think it was received really well because, all the fans on Twitter and Instagram loved the Althea Jalan team up that they never knew they needed or expected. And I think that was really fun. I think it works well with the contrast between Jalan's, very stoic, serious mannerisms, and then you have Althea, bubbly, like sure, like happy, easygoing. It was a cool dynamic to see.
Althea and Dennis have been through the ringer, but their love and support has never wavered. And you've said in previous interviews that growing up, you never saw a young Asian couple on the screen. What has it meant to you to be able to reflect that dynamic on screen and be that representation that you didn't get to see growing up?
Wow. I feel like I almost forgot about that I mentioned that because it felt so long ago, like 3 seasons ago. And you're so
Yeah.
right. I think it's been really cool. I think the show has several examples of what love might look like in an Asian American with Asian American couples. Like we have that everywhere, whether that's Althea and Dennis Nikki and her love triangle, Henry and Bo. We have that Jin and Mei Lee love, and Sebastian and Ryan. Like, I think there's so many different versions, and I think that's really cool. But for me and Tony, it's just been a blast. I think yeah, I forgot that we talked about that. Yeah, it kind of seems normal now, which is really cool because,
Next step, yeah.
the whole point of representation and seeing it on screen, it just normalizes it. And I think it's been really cool. I forgot.
Yeah, you've made huge strides for the community, and you're also an actress who likes to immerse herself in her surroundings ahead of a scene. Has that always been your process, and how does that work? How does that work when you're diving into those more emotional moments that Althea's had across the 3 seasons?
Yes, I do like to immerse myself. I feel like I'm a very everyone who's worked with me, they know how I work, and they have this joke where I kind of just like sit there and like I'll take in the information, any notes, any direction, and I just like stay silent, but they know it's because I'm processing, and I'm like, I'm processing. So any new director, I'd be like, if I'm silent, I'm processing because I want to get it all. So I'll just stand there looking like kind of like cuckoo. But everyone's like, she's processing. So even in between, I think I like to sometimes when they yell cut and then people go back to the green room, sometimes in between takes, I just like to sit there because I like to take in the environment, and it just helps ground me. And sometimes even in blocking, when we don't have to wear our shoes yet because we want to wear our cozies, I love to wear my heels because my heels make me feel like Althea. So that's always a fun thing. Well, I'll just wear the heels the entire day. I won't take them off because we all know if you take off your heels, it is very hard to put them back on. So I embrace that. And so, yeah, it's been really fun. And I'm glad I've worked in a safe environment that allows me to immerse myself creatively.
Yeah, we're really killing it with the segues. But there's so many decisions and character choices that happen before you start filming. And fashion has always been such a cornerstone of Althea's identity. How has your collaboration with the costume department grown over time? And how have the decisions that you've made with that team allowed you to deliver the performances that you have?
I think when people think of Althea, they think tech and her clothes, which has been really fun to play. I think I've mentioned it before, but when I first auditioned for this character, it didn't have anything in the breakdown regarding fashion. It just said a tech savvy sister planning her wedding. And I was like, well, what would a tech savvy person wear? And I was like, you know, nah, let's make show up in a bright pink fitted jumpsuit with a big purse and a coat and a bunch of accessories and heels. Like, let's see what that looks like. And I remember the showrunner saying that that's not what they had in mind for the character, but essentially that inspired them to, her wardrobe. And she became this bubbly, out there with her expressive clothing character. And since then, I think it's been an awesome experience collaborating with the costume department. I think our costume director, Angus, is great. And he's always very collaborative. He will show me a bunch of things. And ultimately, they want us to feel comfortable, and they want us to wear things that inspire our characters. So I remember when we first started, I tried to keep her away from dark colors or things that hid her a bit, because I wanted her to feel bright and bubbly. And so I wanted those colors and those accessories to match her personality. And I think it's been really fun to always try to find new ways to add that and match her mood.
Yeah, in the latest episode, the Shen family faces a near-death experience after being marked by Xiao. How will that affect them in the upcoming season finale? And what can you tease about Althea's arc in that episode?
Well, I got emotional watching it. I forgot, and I watched it before it aired. I cried on two separate occasions. It was when Mia died. It's not a spoiler. Or Mia dies, and then at the end, when Henry does a flashback and he's looking for the Shens, Nikki in using his compass powers, and then it did a flashback of all this season 1 and 2 and 3 of like baby Nikki and the baby Shens. And it almost felt like an emotional, sad moment of like a full circle. Like I was watching not Kung Fu, but I was watching like my life or like us,
Mm,
3 years ago in that little time warps that he was finding. And I was a blubbering mess after I was
same.
bawling. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you felt that journey. But yes, exactly. So I think we definitely planted seeds. It almost felt like closure a bit. And I think it lands into the season finale where we almost died. Yes. What does that look like now that we survived in for the finale? But there's still danger ahead. And I think the finale is obviously going to be filled with action and family, which is the heart of our story. And then I think it does a great job with closing up chapters, but also planting seeds to make people excited for, oh, wow, I did not expect that. That could be all in season 4. Wow, this is exciting. What could it be? I feel like it's a great balance because sometimes with a cliffhanger, you're like,
Yeah.
without closing a chapter. But since we also don't know yet if we have a season 4, I think it was like the perfect balance on how to tie it up, but have potential for more.
Fingers crossed that we get a season 4. And you and the cast are so good at giving these teasers. You've had so many standout moments throughout the 3 seasons. Which has been your favorite scene to film, and what's been the most challenging for you?
I think my favorite scene, well, I would have to say episode, something impactful that I learned was definitely episode 310, Alias, when Althea, Nikki, is in home arrest, so she can't continue the
Yeah.
mission. And everyone has to decide who's going to go and, go fight the bad guys because Nikki can't do it. And that was the first time Althea found the courage to, physically put herself out there. And it was that beautiful moment between Nikki and Althea where Nikki didn't want to put her in danger,
Yeah.
but you see that it's kind of like the Althea was wanting her to trust her. And it was almost like the mama bird not wanting the baby bird to fly away from its nest, but needing to trust that it'll be okay out there and come back. And so that was I loved that scene that we got to do. And just the whole episode in general, I was very grateful to have that opportunity. It was in like 9 shooting days. And that was the first time I've ever shot 9 out of 9 days. And so for me, that was definitely, as an actor, like a milestone for me. Cause I was like, whew, that was like a marathon. I was so exhausted. And I was like, dang, like props to Olivia, who's always doing that, that work schedule. But for me, I think that was a really proud moment for me as an actor to be able to have that milestone. So I'm really thankful to Christina and Bob for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, it's such a great episode throughout the series. And, the cast is multi-talented. You've got dancers, you've got singers. Tony joked when we chatted with him a couple of weeks back that you've been such an advocate for a musical episode. How many times have you pitched it, and why has it not happened yet?
It's funny. Yes, I love musicals. I mean, not saying that I can sing, but the musical theater child inside of me like wants to do it all. And like I think we can make a kung fu episode, a musical episode. But I joke about it on the internet, and our showrunners and writers definitely see it. So maybe I haven't done it in person, but they definitely know. So I don't push it any further, but they know. And maybe, who knows, season 4, who knows?
We gotta manifest that now. And
Yeah.
this is
Tony would
also
be, Tony would be lead singer. He's
they gave
yeah,
him that moment with the happy birthday song this season.
yeah. And Ben sings as well. He's a rapper.
Yeah, this is also the longest that you've lived with like character. What have you learned about your craft and artistry playing out the for now 3 seasons?
I think playing Althea for 3 seasons has definitely um, made me trust in my instincts more
Yeah.
about this character. I think naturally when you're starting out on something or getting on audition, you're trying to navigate what this character thinks, or what's her essence and her feelings and her motivations. But it's kind of like second nature now, I feel. And it's funny because then I'll read like new material and auditioning things that are not Althea and not her essence. And I'm like, it's so much harder because you just get so used to, putting your heart and soul into this character that now it's like, I just take and be like, I know what Althea would do and say. But so it's definitely made me hopeful that I can maybe do that with my next character of whatever
Yeah.
I'm working on. And so it's nice. I am kind of interested to see how different it would be from Althea. I would actually love it to work on something that is completely different from her. So we'll see. But it's definitely helped me trust my instincts more and love the process.
Yeah, great answer. I got two more questions for you. You were just talking about that, but Kung Fu is a show that's had such an impact on audiences. Has that changed the way that you look at future projects and what you want to say as an artist?
Yes, I feel like at season 1, it was a lot of pressure because,
Yeah.
Kung Fu was the first predominantly Asian American cast for a drama series on broadcast television. And that comes with a lot of pressure, while we were really honored and humbled to have that, especially during a time when it revolved around Asian hate, et cetera, COVID. That was like, we were like a beacon of hope, and we were happy to be that. But it comes with a lot of pressure, being the first and wanting to, maybe that fear of tokenism or being the shining example. And like that's hard, to be that
Yeah.
one example of what any Asian American show or people, characters, family could look like. And so ever since then, I feel like there's been a lot more projects with Asians in front of the camera and behind the camera. And that's great. It's so nice to see because then we're not the only one, and it just kind of normalizes. And I think in season 3 now we've just become a well-oiled machine that's a good show. We just happen to be Asian. There is no more of
Yeah.
that tokenism necessarily, or that pressure to represent. We could just exist because people enjoy us as entertainment. And I think that's really cool because now there's much more projects. I mean,
Yeah.
slowly over time. And I think that's the whole point, is to just, keep normalizing it and have more opportunities out there, and not, sticking to this box of just like tokenism and
Yeah.
just kung fu. So I think it's
Yeah.
been